I'm going to spend $400 to build the strongest gaming PC I can. At this budget, this setup is seriously worth the money. The entire build is made up of AMD parts. This PC can run games smoothly at 1440p without any real problems. But with $400, what do you actually get? Let's get started. I'm going to split the budget sensibly across each component. To keep costs down, I'll be cutting back in a few areas. This time I'm still buying used parts because the price to performance is just a lot better. I know not everyone is comfortable buying secondhand components, so I'll also suggest a few options if you want to go all brand new. To build a strong PC, the most important things are still the CPU and the GPU. Those two parts are what decide your gaming performance. First up, let's find a CPU. I'm aiming to spend around $70 on the processor. In this price range, you can usually find options like the Ryzen 5 2600X, 3500X, Ryzen 5 2400G, and the Ryzen 5 3600. Overall, the prices aren't that far apart, but performance-wise, the Ryzen 5 3600 is clearly ahead. 6 cores, 12 threads, with up to a 4.2 GHz boost. Based on real-world reviews, it still handles both multitasking and gaming really well today. I managed to pick one up for $60 on eBay. Next, let's move on to the GPU. With around a $140 budget, I went with the RX 6600. It's a card that a lot of gamers have been chasing. It came out around late 2021, and it's built on the newer RDNA2 architecture. Performance-wise, it's often seen as roughly on par with the RTX 3050, but the RX 6600 is usually a bit cheaper. I also happened to find an open box RX 580, but that's not a great choice anymore. It launched a long time ago, and in real-world use, it draws more power, runs hotter, and 1440p performance just isn't stable these days. Most games these days recommend 16 gigabytes of RAM if you want the best overall experience. So for this build, I'm going with 16 gigabytes. This time I'm choosing RAM that comes with heat spreaders so the system can run a bit more stable. I'll be using two 8 gigabyte sticks for a total of 16 gigabytes. This kit is from Corsair, it's 3200 megahertz, and it costs around $70. And if you want to save a little more money, you can also buy non-heat spreader RAM for slightly cheaper. Next up is storage. Storage won't directly affect your in-game performance, so I'm going with the cheapest option. Well, not the absolute cheapest, but the best budget pick. You could go super basic with something like a 128GB SATA SSD for about $13. But I want more space so I can install more games, so I'm choosing a 500GB SATA SSD from SSTC for $25. To connect everything together, I'm going with the ASRock B450M Steel Legend for around $100. A motherboard won't directly increase FPS, but it does decide whether your system runs stable and stays solid long term. That's why I'm prioritizing a board with good VRMs, so the CPU can run consistently and I can upgrade later without worrying. On top of the VRMs, this board is also pretty well equipped for connectivity and expansion. 4 RAM slots, 2 M2 slots, 2 PCIe slots, and overall the rear I/O is pretty complete. If you want to save more money, you can go with a more basic B450 board like the MSI B450M A Pro Max. It's cheaper and very easy to find. To cool this CPU, I'm going to use an AMD cooler. It's the stock cooler from an AMD Ryzen 9. I used it in my last video and it's pretty cheap, only about $15. And it also comes with some really nice RGB lighting. Next, I'm picking a simple case. I went with a black Zigmatech case that already comes with 3 fans. It cost $16 for a used case. And finally, the power supply. Since these parts don't draw a ton of power, a 550 watt PSU is plenty. With a 550 watt unit, I'll also have room to upgrade a few parts later on, And to make cable management easier and the build cleaner, I'm going with a modular unit. The unit I'm using here is the Corsair CX550F RGB, and it costs around $44. Now, if you want to buy used parts to get better value, here's what I recommend. Don't buy a brand new Ryzen 3 4100. Instead, pick up a used Ryzen 5. You can start at a 2600 or higher, like a 3600 or even a 5600. Those are usually around $70. The only exception is the Ryzen 5 5600, which is often closer to $85. But overall, pretty much any Ryzen 5 gives you better performance for the money and is a better deal. The second thing I recommend buying used is the GPU. For around the same price as my RX 6600, you can often find cards like the GTX 1660 Super or the RTX 2060. And you can sometimes get them even cheaper if you jump into auctions. Just keep in mind, there are usually a lot of people bidding on those listings too. I'm gonna start putting this build together now. The total cost to finish the PC came out to around $470. And now, let's move on to the performance tests and see how it actually does in real-world gaming. First, I'm going to check the Ryzen 5 3600 in CPU-Z. The results came in at 4,066 points multi-core and 509 points single-core. With scores like that, the Ryzen 5 3600 still holds up really well for gaming today. Now let's jump into Cyberpunk 2077. I'm testing at 1440p on the high preset. At these settings, the gameplay is pretty smooth, and I'm not seeing any major sudden FPS drops. FPS stays fairly stable, hovering around 53 frames per second. For a graphics-heavy game like Cyberpunk 2077, that's a really solid result for anyone on a tighter budget. Next up is another shooter, CS2. Again, I'm playing at 1440p on high settings. With this setup, FPS stays over 100 the whole time, and it feels smooth even during intense fights. For an esports title where smoothness and fast response matter, this build definitely delivers. Now let's switch over to Fortnite. I'm running low settings at 1440p. At these settings, performance is very stable, with an average of around 92 frames per second. Gameplay feels smooth, and I'm basically not running into any issues while fighting or rotating around the map. Overall, this is a solid setup for casual play if you want stability and you don't need to crank the settings. Next up is GTA 5, which is also a game I really like. This time I'm playing at 1440p on high settings. Most of the time FPS stays above 100, so it feels very smooth. But in areas with a lot of NPCs or heavier effects, it can drop to around 88 frames per second. Even then, it still doesn't turn into anything stuttery or annoying. For GTA 5, this setup easily covers basic everyday gaming. After that, we've got Sekiro. This is a game that's pretty well optimized and usually runs well on a wide range of hardware. The game is capped at 60 frames per second, and with this build, I'm holding a rock-solid 60 the whole time. During gameplay, the RX 6600 is sitting around 80% usage, which is totally normal for a AAA title. So overall, the experience is smooth with no noticeable stutters. And finally, Minecraft. I'm playing at 32 chunks at 1440p. At these settings, I'm averaging around 220 FPS. Super smooth and easy to play. Now when I turn shaders on, FPS drops to around 50. Even then, it stays stable and doesn't feel like a stuttery mess. Overall, this build can handle Minecraft really well, even with shaders on. And that's pretty much everything on this $400 plus PC. Overall, with the Ryzen 5 3600 plus, the RX 6600, 1440p gaming is actually very solid. It can handle heavy games like Cyberpunk, And it also runs esports titles like CS2 and Fortnite really well. If you're looking for a strong price-to-performance build and you want to play the most games possible for the money, this is definitely worth considering. And like I said from the start, going used gets you way better value as long as you pick the right parts and you know what to check for. If you found the video helpful, drop a like to support the channel and subscribe so you don't miss the next PC build.